Hello, welcome to Hooks and Stitches. My name's Natasha. I have come to you today because I am going to be involved in the Tag 20 questions. Sally from Nanny Moon's Crochet tagged me, so I am going to do mine and then tag some other people at the end. So, without further ado, we'll get straight on with it. Question 1. How old were you when you first learnt to crochet? I was 36. 9 years ago I learnt, and the reason I learnt was because my daughter Yasmin pulled her hair out through anxiety of starting school, and the school gave me one of these crocheted sleeves that you put your hands in, and inside of things like buttons and lace and all sorts of little things to keep her hands busy, to stop her from pulling out her hair even more. And I called it a fiddle muff. I don't know what the appropriate name is for it, but I was so intrigued by these things. I wanted to learn how to make them myself so that I could give a little bit back and make some more for other children that were struggling with the same thing. Being only 4 years old, it must be a scary thing, and if you haven't got something to fiddle with to prevent it from happening, it causes more anxiety. So that was my main reason for wanting to do it, because I just loved it. And so that was 9 years ago now, as I say, and I've never really looked back. It took me 4 months to actually get to grips with learning how to crochet fully, and so that's what so I just kept going, and now I wish I'd learnt even earlier in my childhood so that I could be doing it for longer, because I really enjoy it. Question 2. What was the first thing that you remember making? Well, I crochet blankets and amigurumi, and my first blanket was a very large granny square blanket, and because I had made it quite big, but because it was a square, I thought, well, I'm not quite sure how it's going to fit on the bed, to cover the whole bed. So I did 2 exactly the same and then stitched them together. And my daughter Penny has it at her house, and she covers her chair with it. And she was always wanting to have my firsts of everything I made. Everything I learnt how to do, she always wanted the first of everything. And she was my biggest cheerleader of my own achievements, which I was really quite pleased about. And I just used scrap yarn at the time because I didn't have a stash, as they call it now, and as such, and I just kind of was just getting scraps that I found from charity shops and things like that. And then as it progressed, I bought balls of wool and just kept adding to it. But I don't have a photo to show you of that one. If she takes a photo for me, then I can always add it into the comments on the community bit, because that's how I learn to manage my channel at the moment, because I can't just add one here and put it here because I have no idea how to do it. And my first ever, so that was my first ever blanket. And my first ever amigurumi was a Toft rabbit, which I have here and I can show you. And as you can see, she's not really stuffed properly, and there's lots of faults, but she's perfectly imperfect, and she lives in my toy cupboard. And the yarn I used was an Aran, just mixed yarn, and you know, I just thought it would be lovely. And as you can see, you know, the nose isn't really sitting right, and all sorts of things, but I do love to look at her occasionally and just see how far I've come, because now I make much more technical things, and I really love the fact that a ball of wool can turn into something so lovely and so comforting to lots of people. And so that was my Emma's rabbit, and the pattern is a Toft pattern, like I said. And my friend who intrigued me to crochet first, she lives back in the village that I grew up in, and her name is Jo. If she's watching, I don't know if she is or not, but she said to me, the easiest book that you can get for amigurumi is the Toft animals, the Toft Edwards Menagerie book. So that's the one, my first ever book that I made, that I bought. Sorry, hold on a minute, I'll just show you for people that don't know. I've got most of my the Toft books now, because there are several that I like, but this one was the first one that I bought. And this is the rabbit down there. Oh, I don't know if my light's going to let me focus it in, but I didn't do too badly. I'll put that one down there for now. I didn't do too badly, because let's face it, she does look like a rabbit, so I didn't do too bad. So, moving on. What is the make that you are most proud of? I'm proud of every single thing I make, because the gratification when it comes from a simple ball of wool to something like the rabbit is just delightful. And I don't have a single piece that I am most proud of all, but I think if I had to choose one, I think it would be that rabbit, just purely because I started from nothing. My knowledge was very limited, and I still managed to make a rabbit out of it. So I think it would have to be her. A knife or a pencil grip? I think it's a knife, because I hold mine like this. I certainly cannot hold it like that and crochet, so it has to be the knife grip. Do you prefer Boye or Susan Bate hooks? My favourite hook of all time are inline ones, because I have bought lots and lots and lots of hooks. I've bought the Clover Amour. I've bought the, hang on, let me see, I'm just looking into the ones that I don't use anymore. Can't remember the makes. Yeah, Clover Amour. I bought the Clover, these ones. Can't even see that. Clover. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, I've bought these, and I've bought tulips, and if you don't buy the inline ones, this is just my personal preference, and this is my own opinion. But I find if you don't use the, let me find one from in here. Like these, they're, oh, hold on a minute, there, I don't know if you can see that, but obviously it's more curved on the end, and then these ones are like more tucked in and more sharper on the end, but because it's tucked in, you can't really feel that. I used to start off with these, but it used to slip off the end really easily, and it was really frustrating me. And my friend Tara, who's now moved to London, or near London, she said to me one day, why don't you change to an inline one and see how that does you, you know, to see if you manage better. And I've never looked back. They're absolutely brilliant. And so I've bought several packs, and now, because I leave them in my projects, I've hardly got any when I really need it, and then I end up taking it out of a project, and then I'm left wondering because I forget to write down which one it is in that particular project. So then I'm wondering which one I used, and then of course I'm left wondering and trying to look through photos to see if the hook is next to it, so I can zoom in and find out what the hook size is. But anyway, this it's definitely the Susan Bates hooks for me. What is your favourite hook? Again, like I say, I've answered that question as well, really. It's definitely a Susan Bates hook. And what hook size or range is my favourite? Well, I like 375 is the most comfortable for me for doing blankets. And 275 I like for amigurumi. I do use other hooks, obviously, in other sizes, which is fine, but they are my favourite of all time. My favourite, question number 9, my favourite yarn weight. I think I like all of them, but my favourite has to be Aran, just because of the sheer chunkiness of it, and it gives you a better gratification of actually using it. And I don't always use the right hook size for the band, because it all depends what the project is because of the definition of stitch. And so generally I'll even use a 4 or 4.5 even if it states a 5, because I always tend to go down unless I really want a floppier one, in which case then I go up in hook size. But I do like to work with Aran yarn, but I'm quite happy to work with anything really. I don't work with 4-ply, mainly because I don't find anything that calls for it that I choose to do. I mean, the ones like this is quite a thin DK, and it's still very soft, and so if anything, you know, I think even if it is a DK, sometimes it isn't as thick as others, you know, and things. I use cotton occasionally, but again, not very often. But I do have it ready to use for things like flowers, and I bought some cotton which is just about, oh, there, you can see the yellow just there, waiting for a pattern that I got for a frog. Favourite yarn or fibre and why? Oh, well, I think I've just really said about that. Definitely acrylic yarn, mainly because the reason is because you can wash it and even tumble dry it, as long as you're using you know, a gentle program for it. But I do like to do it, like if I'm doing a baby blanket or something like that. I like it because it just softens it up if it's on a bit of a harsh side from having that sort of like spray glue stuff that they put on it. And it helps to loosen it up ready so that you know exactly what it's going to feel like when it has been washed. Feature your favourite yarn. Well, I have got several favourites, but I picked this one out mainly because of the colours. But I love, let me see if I can catch it. See if I can show you. Yes, that's better. Because I just love the fact that it's not all one colour. This is James C. Brett Driftwood DK. I've picked this just mainly for the coloration. I'm not worried about the make or anything like that. That's but it's just really for the colours and things like this, which are the similar colours to the sheep G's, if that's how you say it, because I don't know how to pronounce that. But all the Stonewash range. This is the Stylecraft kind of version, and again, it makes it look vintagey and it looks really nice. So I've got a few balls of that ready for the shawl pattern that I spoke about in lots of other another video that I did previously. Other than that, I don't really know. Again, I don't really stock yarns that I don't like. The other brand that I do like quite a lot because it's a nice thick DK is Hobbycraft, but obviously from looking at my other videos and things, you all know that because that's what I tend to use quite often. Question 12. What is your favourite item to make? Definitely amigurumi. I have fallen into an amigurumi rabbit hole and I love it. And I just buy patterns. Honestly, I see patterns on Pinterest and like it, so I go and find it. And so amigurumi is definitely what I really love to do. I can't really say that I have an actual specific thing that I love that is my favourite, but amigurumi definitely is my favourite thing to do. Question 13, which crochet item do you least enjoy making? Anything complicated, I suppose, just like anyone else. You don't really want to have a pattern and it's so complicated that you lose interest in it. But I haven't really found anything that I least enjoy making. I will start something and if I don't like it, I'll stop and I'll just think, oh, no, I can't be dealing with this. Because to my mind, if you shut your mind off to something, it will not actually happen. You know, it won't. If you close your mind off, it doesn't give you the opportunity to give it a go, and then you might actually find that it is really lovely, and it hasn't been too bad. So there isn't anything really that I don't enjoy really, and I think maybe I'll come back and answer that if I do find one that I really dislike, to answer that properly. But everything I see and everything I print off and I want to make, I will eventually, and that is because I want to give it a go, and so that's how I'm going to answer that one. Which crochet item? Oh, yes, number 14. Which crochet item haven't I made yet? I haven't made a garment my size. The sleeves terrify me. I suppose that goes in with the question before about least enjoy making. I suppose it's because I can't get to grips with the sleeves because of they go wide, and then I don't know what I'm doing. So I do have a really lovely pattern that I want to do, and that's a very long granny type one with a hood and big sleeve, big pockets and things. So I would like to do it, but that is the one thing I think that really would put me off. Not that I'm not going to give it a go, because I've started collecting the yarn for it, for the for the pockets and things like that from up there already, which I've shown on a previous video. So I suppose, yes, it would be garments, just purely because of the sleeves, and also because the sizing is so different. I don't, I worry about how it's going to look and things like that. I mean, tank tops would be fine. I went out this morning with my friend because she wants me to make her a tank top kind of thing, but obviously it doesn't have sleeves, so I'm not worrying about that, because the body I can just about master and I can figure it out, but it's just sleeves. Question 15. Describe your colour palette. Vintagey colours. We've already touched on this before, haven't we? But I like all colours. Don't get me wrong, it's not just vintagey ones, but I do like to look at really muted, beautiful, soft colours, such as things like this. They just really make me happy. I don't go really for bright brash colours. This makes me happy, this blanket here behind me. I made this for Sienna. And things like that makes me happy, but all in all, I really love to just look at muted colours. And my other palette would be definitely autumn, because of the rustic, the rustic leaf colours and things like that. And I'm also a fan of greens as well, so I like that. My favourite crochet hack would have to be yarn under, because as I say, I do a lot of amigurumi, which you've seen on my videos as well, and yarning under I learnt to do from Elise Rose Crochet, when she did her video yarn over versus yarn under, and now I think I've even forgotten how to yarn over, because even blankets I yarn under for. It's just so much more comfortable. I really love it, and I manage, and it looks fine, so that's what I do. Number 17, feature a pattern designer that you like and one of their patterns. I love Cherry Heart, and that's Sandra at Cherry Hearts. I really, really love her patterns, and by muted vintagey colours and things like that, this is one of her patterns. Oh, now it's going to go funny again because the light is too much. Let me just move it there a little slightly. Still not really great, but This is a Ziggy Interrupted shawl by Sandra Paul at Cherry Hearts, and I honestly really love her patterns. Most of them are paid for. I don't mind in the slightest. I am just in the middle of making, in the start of purchasing the yarns that I want to use for the Nature's Walk blanket, because I really love that. And I've bought the bonus squares for it as well. So the Black Sheep wools, they do the yarn packs, but it's like £89.95, something like that. But there's no way I can afford that, so I should just get a few balls. I should get one colour every time I order something, or every time I go to a shop, because you need 3 of one, 4 of another, and things like that. So I'm just going to do it like that, and then when I've got it, I can have it. Question 18. What's the next pattern that you want to make? I have got so many patterns that I want to do, and I've got so many things on the go. Lots of my things just jump the queue. As soon as I see it, I want to make it. And so, you know, that's what I struggle with. But even though life is short, I've still got plenty of time. So in that sense, you'll just have to watch this space for what I make next, which might be a cop out, but I've literally got so many, and I talk about so many, that I really don't know what I'm going to make next. I do know what pattern I have got for amigurumi that I need to make next, and that is a need more than I want to make, and that is the red panda for one of the trust animals for our school, but that comes next when I've finished the otter. Blanket wise, I'm not really that fussed. I don't tend to make blankets an awful lot when the weather gets warmer and warmer, because obviously it's too hot to work under them. With the weather like it is at the moment, obviously I'm still kind of dipping in and out of blankets. I'm making a blanket at the moment for one of the teachers that's having a baby, so but that's only a little tiny one anyway, so it doesn't matter. Right. Question 19. Best tip for beginners. The best tip I can give anyone, no matter whether it's amigurumi or blanket making, and that is keep on counting. No, without fail, because you'll always need it, even if it's if you're doing like shells pattern or something like that for a blanket, you need to make sure that there's 7 in a row or whatever, or, you know, on the thing. And if you're doing, even if you're doing kind of the peaks and the troughs on something like this, you need to keep counting all the time. And for amigurumi, you need to keep counting all of the time. So that would be my number 1 tip. Definitely keep counting. And question 20 is to tag someone to answer the questions. So to carry on the tag, I am tagging 3 people, and I am going to tag Jeanette at Crafty Clegs Crochet, and then I'm going to tag Davina from Little Wet Room Crafts and Alice from Starlight and Stitches. So for those 3, I do hope that you take up the challenge, because it would be interesting to find out all your favourites. and to see if they have actually got anything different to what you normally use. That would be really good to hear about as well. So I've been talking now for half an hour. I do have another video to make for my progress to show you what I've been doing this week. So I will make that again after this video, but I'm going to leave this one just for the questions tag. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for listening to me. And if you can like and subscribe, that would be brilliant. Hello to everyone that has newly arrived at my channel. And I will see you again, no doubt, very soon. Take care, lovelies. Bye.